Hey YouTube, welcome back to another episode of Greg's Shop. I'm Greg. In this episode, we're going to build a box to house my paint spraying equipment, including the turbine unit, the hose, and the spray gun here. I've got some other paint spraying equipment that I want to keep in the same box. So keep it all together, put it in one box. I could take it anywhere to any job site or to leave it in the shop here and it's not going to get full of dust. So stay tuned and I'll show you what I do. So now that the box is built, what I'm going to do is I purchased this aluminum angle, and I'm going to protect all the corners with the angle by cutting it out and then attaching it. I'm probably not going to use screws. I'm probably just going to use an adhesive. If anybody's ever used plywood, they know that you bang the corners up and the plywood splinters up. It's going to look terrible. I'm going to paint this box. So I'm going to try to keep it as nice as possible. Plus the aluminum, well, it wasn't expensive. It was $10 for a 16-foot piece. So I'm going to cut that up and use it to protect all the corners. And it'll look nice too. Let's get started with that. So cutting aluminum using standard woodworking tools isn't a problem. A couple of tips you want to make sure you do is you want to use carbide tip blades on your saws. That will ensure that the blade will stay sharp, and you can use it to cut wood and other things as well. But one of the main things that you have to do with aluminum is you really should clamp it into the tool and use a wooden type, sacrificial backing material, just to prevent the blade from snagging the material and trying to rip it out of the fixture or however you clamp it into the saw. I've learned that from experience. I've had aluminum, especially aluminum, fly out and get bent up, and it becomes very dangerous. So you're definitely going to want to clamp it in place, and make sure you wear safety glasses and preferably long sleeve shirts, because sometimes the metal can be hot. One of the things you don't want to do is lift the saw blade out of the material while it's still running. You want to let the saw stop, because the change in RPM causes the blade to twist, and it's likely to catch and snag as the blade is slowing down and bend this material, try to eject it out of the clamp. It's very dangerous. You want to bring the saw to a complete stop and then lift it out of the material. That's the safest way to do it. Got the pieces cut out, and I set up the belt sander here to be able to clean up the edge and fine tune the dimensions, the final dimensions of this, because this is like making a picture frame. You got to get them all square, or cut at a 45-degree angle so the whole piece can be square. And so what I'm going to do is set this up here at 45 degrees to the belt, which will make this edge clean and keep on the 45-degree angle the same. Let's check for the fit now. Well, there's the aluminum all cut and mocked up into place. My next step is to paint the box blue. I'm going to just paint the outside, and you're going to use latex paint, so it should dry relatively quickly. And once I get all that done, I'll be able to put the aluminum on. So now that I got all the holes drilled and countersunk, gives a nice clean way to attach the screws so they're flush with the surface. Okay, drill the holes in the wood. I'm going to use a self-centering bit. So it's spring-loaded. It allows the chamfer to sit inside the countersink and drill a hole perfectly in the center. These are good for doing hinges, strike plates, anything on doors, and especially for stuff like this. So now we're down to the finishing touches. I purchased these clasps to hold the lid closed. I got them on Amazon. They're really neat. They're fully adjustable as far as the tension goes. And I'll give you a close-up of that. One thing with these clasps is they did not come with the hardware, and unfortunately I'm going to have to grind a little bit off the tip of the screw to be able to install it so it doesn't poke through the backside. I'll do that on the grinder. As for these spring clamps, they're really handy. It's coming up on that time when you can get them really cheap at Home Depot. They usually go on sale at Christmas time in like a blister pack. You get quite a few for like $14. You get quite a few of them, and they're really handy. So look for those in the Christmas section at Home Depot around Christmas time. They're great. Use this as a spacer. Already figured out the center. Okay, a couple of accessories that I've been setting up and making off camera. One of them is going to be this flange with a wooden post on it, and that's going to make it so that I can set the sprayer inside the box and it's not going to move around. Basically, that's just a wooden dowel on some poplar drilled in at an angle. I'm setting up the router table to route a groove in this piece of wood here to accept a 1/4 inch panel to divide the box up into several different compartments. Well, this is the final result of my idea and my design on how to keep and house all of my paint spraying equipment. So let me give you the tour. Okay, so I'll start with these interesting clasps. They are fully adjustable. You can spin them around. I got them for like $7 on Amazon. I didn't really know what I was buying. I bought a few different ones, and this is what I settled on. They got a nice rubber grip here, and you can adjust them to any tension that you want. What's nice about it is if you have a box or you're holding some type of lid on that may have a gasket, and you want to compress the gasket only to a certain thickness, these work great because you can continuously adjust these. Let's open this up and check out the inside. Okay, right here you can see I've got my hose stored in the lid here. I just take these bungees off, and I can pull the hose right out. Okay. And then if I wanted to, put a bigger hose in there or whatever, this will still accommodate probably another 20 feet or so. That's a 20-foot hose. So the lid is being held open by a chain, which I just used some washers and some screws to screw it into the box. What I didn't show you on camera was this little tray that I built because it was kind of an afterthought. And this houses some accessories, some hoses, filters, wrenches, a cord, and it basically sits right in here, and it's got some little cleats here on the bottom that when you put it in place, it doesn't slide from side to side. It just nestles itself right in there. Yeah, I've got this mounting system where I can slide the gun right onto the post there. It's not going to go anywhere, get banged up. And I'm probably not going to take this anywhere other than maybe to my folks' house for a project or two that I would do over there. Pretty simple design. Didn't really want to get too crazy with it. It's construction grade plywood, nothing fancy about that. It's latex paint, nothing fancy about that. All the metalwork and everything that I did is all aluminum. Drilled these holes and ran the bungee cord through. As far as the interior of the box, I chose not to paint it typically because latex paint gets sticky when you set things on it, like rubber feet and stuff like that. They want to stick and then they'll tear off. So I'm probably at some point going to put a coat of polyurethane on the inside of this box. I used some 4.0 steel wool to clean up the scratches on the aluminum and put the decals on the front and on the side. So all in all, it's a pretty good build. It didn't take that long. It took a lot longer to film and put all this stuff together, but for the most part, it was a pretty much an easy weekend project. Well, thanks for joining me on another episode of Greg's Shop. I appreciate you watching, and I want to give a special shout out to my buddy Pat and Jerry. These two guys have encouraged me to do this, and they kind of wait and bug me, when are you going to do another video? So I'm going to try to do this with as much regularity as I can. It's not easy to do, and trying to come up with a project to do that's not going to be a 1-hour video, it's tough. So again, thanks for watching. Please rate, comment, and subscribe to my channel, and we'll catch you on the next video. Thanks again.